In the chill dawn of late autumn, the once vibrant town of Pokrovsk lay shrouded in a dense, unforgiving fog. Its cobblestone streets were deserted, whispers of the past battles echoed through the narrow alleyways like lingering ghosts. The air was thick with the scent of smoke and damp earth, remnants of the countless skirmishes that had turned this once thriving settlement into a strategic no man's land. Within the town's ancient fortifications stood a reminder of the countless voices calling for peace, now overshadowed by the resounding thuds of artillery. The town had been seized and reclaimed countless times, a pawn in the relentless conflict grappling the region. On this day, however, the tides of war were about to shift once more. A battalion of Russian soldiers found themselves barricaded within the skeletal remains of what had once been a grand cathedral. The building's once magnificent stained glass windows now lay fragmented across the marble flooring, shards reflecting the muted light, as if bleeding colorful tears. Amongst the detritus of war, Captain Sergei Volkov surveyed his men with a stoic resolve. His eyes, weathered and tired, met each soldier's gaze with unspoken assurance. Comrades, Sergei began, his voice cutting through the oppressive silence. We find ourselves entrenched with limited food, scant ammunition, and no reinforcements. This is not a fight we can continue. The silence that followed was profound, a collective inhale of what was to come next. Sergei's second-in-command, Lieutenant Ivan Korsakov, a man who carried a fierce loyalty and a disposition colder than the bleak weather, stepped forward. But Captain, to surrender, Ivan's voice crackled with disbelief. I know, Ivan, Sergei replied gently, but there comes a time when the well-being of our men must take precedence over pride. We are soldiers, not martyrs. These lives are worth more than a feudal stand. It was a bitter pill to swallow for many, the notion of laying down arms when so much blood shed them. However, reason won over readiness for sacrifice, an uneasy alliance between survival and surrender. As dawn crawled across the horizon, the Russian soldiers raised a white flag atop the cathedral's ruins, an emblem of surrender fluttering starkly against the monochrome sky. The men stepped out, hands raised, into the watchful eyes of the opposing forces. The opposing commanders, seasoned by war's many guises, approached with a wary curiosity, their skepticism mingling with gestures of wariness and restraint. Under the watchful eyes of history, Sergei and his men laid down their weapons. It was a moment both solemn and sacred, as they crossed from warriors to men accepting the truce offered when all hope seemed eclipsed. In the end, the soldiers were treated with the dignity they deserved, held not as captives, but as fellow countrymen caught in the relentless tides of chaos.